everybody, it's Jennifer with Genealogy Technology here, and today I'm going to talk to you about how, just like clear mixed drinks and your mama's lard biscuits, you need to be wary of those little shaky leaf hints that you get on Ancestry.com. So tell me, has this ever happened to you? And I'm sure it has, so don't even lie. Did you sign on to Ancestry? You put in, grandma, grandpa, great-grandparents, and then all of a sudden you get one of those little green leaf hints. You go and you click on that little green leaf hint and it shows you a census where your great-grandparents were living in Missouri in 1900. Oh, wow. I mean, that's really cool, right? And so that takes you back to their parents and their parents before them. And you're clicking on hints, you're finding all this new information. And then 2 hours later, you are related to Charlemagne. How does that happen? But you're like, I'm done here. I just won genealogy. It's all good. Slow down there, Slick. You have just stepped into the trap that is Ancestry shaky leaf hints. And I get it. It is really easy to go down that rabbit hole. Even when stuff maybe starts to not make so much sense. So maybe your grandpa was born in 1912, but all of a sudden you find yourself adding his Civil War service record. Like, hang on, something's wrong here. This can happen to all of us. I'm sure I have added erroneous hints to my Ancestry family tree. I'm sure you have, and it's easy to do. And the reason it's easy is because Ancestry makes it easy for that very purpose. So I am going to let you in on a little secret. In my day job, I actually work in tech. So I work for apps that are like Ancestry.com. And Ancestry, their job as a software would make money for their investors and the people that work there to keep it going, keep the lights on, is to get you as the user to convert to becoming a paid customer. And the main thing they need to do to get you to convert is give you, as soon as possible after you sign up for that free trial, what they call an aha moment. And that aha moment is just, it's a little bit of magic. It's a little bit of something that piques your interest and gets you excited to do more. And so what hints do, they're an ingenious way to get you further and further back, to get you excited, to get you finding something that you've never seen before. So really, Ancestry, they've done a great job at getting you do what they need to do, which is use the software. And now I'm not talking smack about Ancestry at all. I really admire them. They've done a great job. I have spent thousands of dollars over the years with Ancestry. But these little shaky leaf hints, they can become a problem, because the worst thing that can happen is you end up barking up the wrong family history tree. Say you put the wrong lady as your great-great-grandma because you followed an incorrect Ancestry hint, and then all of a sudden, you're back to Charlemagne, except for whoops, that wasn't your great-great-grandma after all. So what I'm saying is, before accepting an Ancestry hint and putting it into your tree, where it then becomes law in your tree, is that you need to use your common sense and just double check it against things that you already know to be true, or double check it against other records. And here are a few reasons why. First, hints, they are based on Ancestry's computer algorithm's best guess. I'm guessing you've come across something like this. You know for a fact that your grandpappy, he lived in Arkansas all his life. But all of a sudden you see Ancestry throw up a hint that shows your grandpappy and his family living in California. Now this guy, he's got the same first and last name as your grandpappy. He was born in or around the same year. He also had a wife named Mary, just like your grandpappy. Everything's the same except for he's living in California. Now, the silly thing to do would be just to accept that hint into your tree automatically. But what you want to do is dig a little deeper here, because what has probably happened is Ancestry's algorithm has seen that these data points match. The name matches, the wife's name matches, the year of birth matches. So Ancestry says, hey, this is enough for me to show you this hint, and then it's up to you to use your good judgment if you should add this hint to your Ancestry family tree or not. But if you knew your grandpappy lived in Arkansas in that year and lived in Arkansas all his life, then you can probably safely ignore that hint. Of course, there is one caveat. One thing genealogists learn quickly is that truth can definitely be stranger than fiction. So you may think your pappy lived in Arkansas all his life, only to find out that he struck oil and they all moved to Beverly Hills for a while. I'm not saying dismiss every hint out of hand. I'm just saying use your common sense and do more research to verify hints before blindly just sticking them in your family tree. Another thing I see all the time, hints can be based on faulty research. So say just one researcher has entered something incorrectly into Ancestry. It could be the wrong mother or father, wrong dates of certain events, just whatever. But what happens is then other people see that information, and if they just blindly accept that as the gospel and they add it to their trees, some outlandish thing like a mother being 60 years old when she had her child, or a father being dead for 3 years before his child was born, can become accepted as fact and be served up again and again as a family tree hint in your ancestry. So again, just use that good judgment before accepting every hint. Here's one I see all the time. Hints can also appear due to operator error. So let me show you how this almost happened to me. This is the Ancestry hint page for my 4th great-grandmother, Jeanette Cowan. As you can see, I have accepted some hints about her before, but I've also ignored some hints that were about her before. And we have this hint here. It's an 1830 United States federal census. It's not for Jeanette, it's for William Cowan, residing in Union, South Carolina. Now, just because I have double checked this, I do happen to know that her father was William Cowan. He did live in Union County, South Carolina in 1830. So, right, this seems like a pretty good hint for Jeanette. She was in there. She wouldn't have been listed by name because they did not list wives and children in the censuses before 1850. But okay, like if I am kind of I'm going fast and I know this is Jeanette, what I'll do is I will click over here to review. All right, look, and I see this and I'm like, yes, I've looked at this. I see that I do already have it saved to William Cowan and his wife. So I'm going to go ahead and say, yeah, accept this hint. Does this record match the person in your tree? Yes. And this is where things are about to get hinky. So if I weren't paying attention, I would save to my tree and be finished. But look what it's doing here. It's trying to save Jeanette as William. So I'm probably going to notice that Jeanette and William are not the same person, but hey, maybe I'm new to Ancestry and I don't realize what's going to happen if I click save to your tree right now. But if I do click save to your tree right now, what I'm going to do is show that this record for William is actually attached to Jeanette. Now, William and Jeanette, those are two people you can probably tell apart pretty easily. However, say William Cowan had a son named William Cowan, and I accidentally attached a record for William Cowan the younger to William Cowan the elder. Well, as time goes on, as different people look at this hint, it can just get more and more confusing. So that's sort of what I'm talking about, how errors with Ancestry hints can really snowball and get out of control. So I do not want to say that Jeanette Cowan is the same person as William Cowan. That doesn't make sense. So I'm going to go ahead and click cancel. And this final thing is really, really important for everybody to know. Hints actually come from limited sources within Ancestry. So one reason Ancestry really dominates the family history market it's because they have access to so many databases full of information. Long story short, they have negotiated with owners of all this intellectual property, libraries, archives, things like that, to digitize and give you all this information that you can look at right from your computer. So when you go to the card catalog in Ancestry, you will see not just the usual suspects like census records and marriage records and stuff like that, but they have tax rolls, Civil War pensions, Native American tribal rolls. They have entire copies of books about family history, books about locations, and that's really just scratching the surface. They have all kinds of stuff. However, Ancestry hints, they can't crawl all of that information to find your ancestor. So hints only derive from a very small amount of all these vast resources that Ancestry has at their disposal. So when you see hints, you're only seeing it really from the most common usual suspects, like censuses, like birth, marriage, and death records, and from other users' family trees. And we already talked about how other users' family trees can be incorrect. So what this means is your ancestor could be hiding in all kinds of records in Ancestry, but you're not seeing them in hints because you're just not looking in all the right places yet. And I will add that if you're just relying on hints and not delving deeper, you could be missing out on a lot of good stuff. And I will do a future video about getting the most out of Ancestry's many databases full of awesome genealogy info. All right, guys, so as tends to happen to me, this video is going a little bit longer than I wanted it to. I had planned to go through some hints on my own Ancestry and just kind of show you how I evaluate a hint and say, this is a good hint, I'll accept it. This is a bad hint, we need to ignore this one, throw it away. Now, if you want me to make a video like that though, I'm still willing to do that. I'll just make one separately. Just leave me a comment below, or I will put a link in the notes where you can contact me through my website and just let me know that, hey, yes, I would be interested in seeing that video. And as always, I thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I really, really appreciate it. And if you like these videos, I ask you to please hit the subscribe button below. That helps me make more videos. It's really the lifeblood of a YouTube channel. And I have been Jennifer with genealogytechnology.com. Thanks so much.